Um, all right, so we have a few folks on. Good to see good to see everyone today. Happy Friday. Bringing it live from the Swell headquarters in Virginia Beach, Virginia. This is Matt, and we are going to be going through some Sweet Assist today. Obviously, I don't know how many have been on before in one of these. Shonda usually runs it. We're going to do things a little bit different today. And I'm going to actually lead things off and go through, just take about probably 15 to 20 minutes to go through some non-transaction management side stuff related to Sweet Assist. We always look at Sweet Assist as being really the heartbeat of our business and where a lot of transactions run through and the whole paperless management side of the business. Shonda does a terrific job, of course, monitoring that for us all. And so she'll do her regular one-on-one thing here in just a bit once I'm done. But I wanted to lead off and kind of go through just some areas of Sweet Assist that don't apply to transactions, like our marketplace center, our training center, our company calendar, places like that. So there's a lot of stuff involved within Sweet Assist, and so I just want to make sure that our agents are making sure where to find certain things that maybe they apply more on the marketing side or just the admin related side, and so we'll go through all that here, and then I'll dedicate some time here afterwards for some Q&A and go from there, and then I'll pass it off to Shonda. So let's dive right into it. I'm gonna share my screen and hopefully everybody can see it. Just give me, Shonda, can you give me a thumbs up? You can see it? Cool. All right. So, first things first, Sweet Assist, and for new folks that might be on this or watching this, you can always find. We were on a leadership call the other day, admin call, and one of the questions was they were actually getting confused with ch clicking on the onboarding link compared to actually going through the direct Sweet Assist login link. So just for everybody, so you know, if you ever want to save it to your phone or your desktop, on our website is our agent login. There's a tab up here that says agent login. You can always find log directly into Sweet Assist by going to that tab. Okay, so you don't have to go scrumming through your email, finding past emails from Wendy or things that got lost. Just go to our website. If you ever have an issue with signing in to Sweet Assist, go to our website, sellwithswell.com, and then click that agent login button there at the top right. That'll take you directly into Sweet Assist with your login information. If you do have any login problems or you forget your login, you do have that forget password option, or you could always contact Wendy at the office and she can reset your link. So when we are logged in there, there's a couple areas. Of course, really the bulk of time spent by agents is going to be within their transactions tab here. We're not going to go into any of that today. We'll, again, Shonda will cover that in any questions that you all have. But what I want to do is walk through the rest of the platform here for you. So Sweet Assist, I mean, it's really a couple things. It was built. The foundation was built as a transaction management system, but Corey and the group who actually own it and run it, they also own a real estate brokerage out in California, pretty large sized company. And what they envision for this is really it really becoming a company intranet. For their agents. So really a hub where they can find everything, whether again, that's running transactions through it and the whole auditing process, whether it's finding marketing solutions, whether it's using it as a customer relationship management tool. A lot of agents here use Real Geeks. We have a CRM for that. Maybe they use their own product or their own company or software out there for CRM usage, but it can be used as a relationship management platform as well. So CRM. Referral marketing, we do have agents that use I think it's called Referral Suite. And what Referral Suite does is it's actually it's a product that allows you to keep in touch with your existing audience and sphere of influence by three main areas: social media, video email, and direct mail. So and I'll show you here in the training area for those who want more information about it. We did a whole training on it and launch a few months back. But that's a solution that agents can use. Just keeping in touch with their sphere, sending them updated information, things like that. So there is a whole nother. I'm not going to do a deep dive into that just because that's probably another hour-long call. But it's a really, really solid solution if you guys are looking for other ways to best market to your sphere of influence. There is a little red lock on there. That is an upgrade. I think it's priced at maybe $60 a month. Or maybe it's, I forget. Don't quote me on that. Actually, if we click on it, it might say it. I'm not sure. But yeah, okay. So it is $60 monthly there. But it's basically handling your marketing for you in an automatic way. So and then there's again, we'll get into our training area, the marketplace. There's a ton of stuff in the marketplace area, our office docs. Center and everything, and then where to find vendors and so forth. So I will try my best to monitor the chat. Again, if you guys have any questions, just save it for here just a bit. I'll probably take about 10 to 15 minutes to run through this. Shonda, if you wouldn't mind monitoring the chat, I think Rachel just stepped out for a quick lunch. But if you guys have questions, just save it
Yep,
for there
got
or
it.
enter it in the chat, and then I'll look at it here later. So first things first, once we're logged in, if you guys click on, I don't know how many of you all actually connect the company calendar to your personal or business calendar. You can actually do that through a Google Connect. So we try our best to keep everything updated in here in terms of what's happening for the month. You can see obviously today we're here at 12:30, Sweet Assist training. You can see what that's about, all the access information, what's going to be covered, and things like that. We had this past, I think it was Tuesday, we had our free agent headshots event where agents came in and got free headshots done. So anything that's going on at the brokerage level or at the company, whether it's something like this, whether it's an event like a headshot event, a training, a lunch and learn, we will load these up to the calendar so you guys can see what's happening for the week or for the month. And then if you're like me, where I live and die by my calendar, if it's not on my calendar, it does not exist in my normal day to day, then I want to get everything synced. So you can go here to your calendar and click that little connect to Google option and it will take you to where you need to go, and you can set up your calendar sync there. So you'll click that, it'll take you over, you'll sign in if you're not already signed in to your Google account or whatever calendar you're connecting, and then just follow through the prompts, and then that'll add this calendar to your calendar. So if you're using your own Gmail or your own calendar for whatever Outlook, you'll be able to sync that up. So then when you start your day or you're looking through the month to see what's going on, anything that is happening at the company level, that'll sync. And so you'll be able to stay in tune with events and trainings and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I see a lot of agents ask how to do that or they don't know where to find it. And just staying in touch with what's going on at the company, what things are happening. That's probably the best way to do it. Or, of course, if you don't want to connect it, you can always go here, click calendar, and see what's going on. Um, the relationships tab, this goes back to what I was talking about as far as the CRM. So you can use Sweet Assist as a CRM. Maybe you don't like the Real Geek CRM or whatever you're using now. Maybe you're just working old school off an Excel sheet. But you can come in here and keep your SOI, upload your SOI, friends, family, whoever, and use this as an ever-changing database. It's not static, right? You know, the problem with using an Excel sheet or writing people down on a piece of paper or a napkin is that just stays there. You have to always record, you have to reference to it. With a database like this, you can still set people up and interact with them, and it's a lot more cleaner, right? And it's quicker to just keep organization and to put people in terms of what type of lead they might be, what the relationship is. Obviously, you have contact types and things. So a lot of this stuff you can't do just obviously in an Excel sheet. or on paper. This just keeps it more organized. So won't dive into all the things about a CRM. I think we all know kind of a CRM 101, what that is and what it's intended to do and help our business. But just want to make everybody aware there is an area in SuiteAssist if you are looking for just a bare bones CRM to keep your contacts in there. Again, you can go up here, click create a contact, put in their information and click create, and then that'll get added in. So again, it's you don't have to worry about going out and buying a CRM, whether you're using Real Geeks, which obviously is free here at the company, or using it within SuiteAssist. It's your preference in that case. Um, The next area, referral marketing. Like I said, this is the referral suite area of Suite Assist. So this is an added cost, just because there's a lot involved, as far as things like biweekly coaching calls, the technology that's behind it, as far as setting up social media campaigns for you, developing video email for you, and then attaching that to direct mail. So what's really cool about this, and again, what I encourage you all, if you are interested in learning more about Referral Suite, just go in there, click the referral marketing tab, and then watch this YouTube video. But it'll go through, everything that's included. So again, just things that, like it mentions, being everywhere all the time. We all know how important it is to be top of mind to our sphere of influence. So this really helps you. This kind of is an extension of your business to making sure that you're top of mind to your audience out there, whether that's social media, sending automated video emails. So going beyond that, just text-based email, we're kind of in the era now of video. And so the personalization is key to our marketing efforts. So that just kind of steps it up a little bit for you. And then, of course, backing that up with direct mail as well. Sweet Assist, I think it's yeah, I want to say it's usually like $100 a month. I don't know if the pricing's in here. There's some setup fees, but we've negotiated that over the last, I think, 2 years to get it down to $60 a month for swell agents. So again, totally up to you guys, but that's where you would find more information. If you do sign up, you'll get information that leads to a setup call that Mike Cuevas runs, and Mike will go through all the upfront information with you, how to get your contacts or your SOI imported into Suite Assist or Referral Suite, and then exactly what'll be happening on a monthly basis. And then he does do the bi-weekly coaching calls. I find a lot of product out there, technology can become very overwhelming. Or just kind of learning how to get started with it. So Mike sort of holds your hand as you get going with this product, just to make sure you're maximizing it and leveraging it to its full potential for you. So that's Referral Suite. The next tab is going to be our marketing resources. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Again, if you're trying to level up your marketing or just look for help with finding designs that work, maybe scripts, you're having a hard time developing the proper script, all that stuff's in here. So when you click on marketing resources, you'll actually see 4 different tabs up at the top. You have an area for social media. So I was actually just helping an agent today with an open house flyer. She was wondering where to go to set that up, and maybe she didn't use Canva, but this kind of helped direct her to where to go. So if you guys look here, you'll see some different template options. Here's a listing announcement just listed, a couple options there, maybe a market update tab. So, just to kind of look and you can go through here and actually further customize it. So let's say you were doing a just listed flyer. If you clicked on customize, this will take you directly to the template in Canva that you can then build from there. So these are just some pre-built templates that you can use. Anything that you guys want more of, we can add to it. So again, just a little area there for you to check out. Transactional marketing resources. So again, buyer presentation, listing presentations. Here's a pre-listing checklist. So again, just a lot of different templates in here for you all to choose from. Some of it could be pretty bare bones. I know we have some agents that are really savvy with their marketing and they like to kind of do their own thing. That's totally fine. But for those who are just kind of getting started with some design stuff, these are some great guides to help you get started. And again, any of these customization links will take you off to Canva, where then you can then further build it out. So if I click customize just to show you, and I click view template, and then click open in editor, there we go. Um, that will bring it up. So here's a detailed build out buyer's guide. You'll see all the pages here at the bottom that show up. If you go through and kind of go through each page here. So it's all kind of designed out for you and you can do your thing. You go over here to uploads. If you have pictures, flyers, things like that, I'll drag this picture here of this house, pop it over there. So Canva, super easy to use. I know a lot of agents use it. You don't have to be a professional graphic artist to know how to do this stuff. A lot of it's drag and drop, and you can kind of customize how you want. So, call me, email me with any questions on that. Won't that is it's not a Canva course today, but just want to show you guys where to find that. Other things like video scripts. This is really cool. There's a lot of great information in here. Seller video series, buyer sides, YouTube, living in video series. So if you actually click on view details, this will say, so this one, access the YouTube living in series and stop guessing what kind of content to create on YouTube. These proven scripts have generated tens of thousands of views for clients, and now you have them as part of your membership. So again, area you can go in and just find different scripts that you can use in if you guys are doing more video content out there. And then print marketing. So print marketing, the fourth tab there is going to actually take you off to Bear Printing. This is our marketing center that we build out. And this is, again, we did a launch and we did a deep dive video series on this. So, and I'll show you here in a minute where to find that. But you can do a heck of a lot in this center. So this is going to be everything from setting up, maybe building open house flyers, maybe automating your direct mail. So if you go into, let's say, Neighborhood Connect, this is a postcard program that listens to status changes in your local MLS and creates marketing materials automatically for you. So this is really set it and forget it. So they notify the neighbors surrounding your listings that you've just listed, put under contract, and anything that's closed near their neighbor's home. So again, you can get really specific in this. There's just listed flyers, there's pending flyers, there's just solds, and then again, customizing address count, what the radius distance is and so forth. So there is a lot of really, really sweet marketing strategy in here, campaigns that can be set up and designed. Even your own active listings, these are all connected to the local MLS. So all the data, you don't have to worry about hunting that down and putting it in there. That's all connected. Or you can click create and you can even start it from scratch, right? So start from your listing, start from an address, start from the national MLS. So if we click start from an address, you can put, I don't know, 123 Main Street, and then you can type in your address to search. And then you can open that up in the basic form editor. I don't know if it'll allow me. Yeah, we'll go through that on the training video. But I just again want to show you guys where to find that. You can spend all day in this creating some pretty micro campaigns, and again, a lot to find in there. So marketing resources, social media, transactional. Those are going to be sort of your Canva creatives. If you want to just put together some quick graphics. The video scripts tab, a lot of stuff in there if you're struggling with what to say during different videos. And then our print marketing, our fourth tab there, which is going to link out to Bear Printing, which is our partner. We get a lot of great discounts through them. So again, the product is free, so you can build any campaigns you want. It's just the price is going to come down to how many postcards, what your print costs look like. Okay, so that's going to be the only thing, of course, that you're going to need to pay for. Training, our next tab here. So here's our training center. A lot of agents who onboard with Swell, this probably looks familiar, whether they're joining the Swell Realty side or the Swell Real Estate side. This is always the best place. First place you want to go to is the Welcome Center. You click View Training, and this is just a quick little one-pager of where to find everything, our quick reference guide, things like sending me your headshot and bio, our transaction management system, policies and procedures, referral suite. There's what we already talked about. Goes into Swell Transacts. We do have a transaction management department that helps with provides full TC solutions or inputting listings for you, things like that. Our company store. So a lot of stuff is in here. Obviously, if you just joined the company, you probably want to check that out if you haven't already. And then the Swell Real Estate side. But if you go through, you can scroll down, and we're trying to do a better job to categorize this information because there's a lot in here. What I typically do is I'm searching for a training, I'll put it up here. Maybe I want to learn about Facebook, right? If I start typing in Facebook, you'll start seeing things pop up. Facebook page SEO for real estate agents. So this is talking about what to be doing with your Facebook page to build your visibility online when people are finding real estate agents in the area. If you click View Training, that will take you to oh, this is actually one that I did to the actual video that press play and you can watch that. And these are tagged, all the trainings, whoever hosts them are all tagged to their email. So if you have a question on that training or you want to set up a consult or anything with me, then just leave a comment and I'll get tagged on it. Or of course, you can always call me or email me directly too. But if you're in here, you can go to, if you click this category, again, you can search here, or you can go into the drop down. Maybe you want to find more sales training. Okay, if you hover sales training, here's things. This was actually from our very own Tom, Mr. Tom Benvenuto. Tom did one on a listing presentation role. We have some other ones from some outside vendors, unghosted smart messages to break the silence. I need to talk to my spouse, live role play. So really a lot of good stuff in here. Here's one Madison did, a buyer agent role play. So again, some pretty cool stuff in here. Good training, content defined, taxes. This is instant tax relief for real estate agents. So a lot of different things, mortgage, Suite Assist training. Okay, so we try and record every training that Shonda does. So we can go back and look at that. Compliance, marketing and advertising, a lot of stuff in here. Marketing and advertising, using Google to build your business. Referral suite, there's that training that I was talking about. This looks like an older one, marketing your business ahead of the NAR settlement. So this is our training room. A lot of great content in here, a lot of information you can go through. And again, anything that we do, if it's online, and sometimes even when we're doing it in person, we'll try our best to record that and continuously add to this database. And then, oh, real quick. And then also, so training room by default will take you to our internal training. But if you click the national trainings tab, this will also send you, I mean, this is a lot of other stuff. Just a lot of great content in here. What's my brand? How to use ChatGPT with social media. Here's Jim Remley, really notorious real estate coach out there. Video authority content creator. So again, a lot of, and then collective coaching calls. These are calls that happen every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be 1 o'clock our time. So you can always hop on those. Those are free for our agents to attend. So again, definitely encourage you guys to check that out. And then last area before I wrap it up, it's going to be our marketplace area. So in marketplace, now again, this can get pretty overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff in here, but we encourage you guys to search by the product or even by the company or vendor name, or what I typically like to use is just the category. So if you're in here in marketplace, there's a couple areas. So under brokerage products, client services, that's our public facing marketplace. So that's going to be like where our preferred vendors are. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we're always adding to this. If you guys have any vendors you want to add, let us know. So that's in here. But then get back to marketing and lead generation and areas like that. So there's a lot of opportunity in here. But let me hop on the brokerage products, and if you go through, you'll see things like our vendors. Um, Maybe you're looking for, so here's that lead gen tab. Here's one right here for fellow seller lead generation. So again, we're always looking for new. I'm constantly looking and vetting through different lead sources that are out there that might be worth pursuing, and those will get added to this area. But let's say you're even looking for, let's say, home warranty, right? Here's our preferred home warranty partner. A lot of you all know Tina Flowers with Choza. So again, you can find vendors in here as well. But if you're on the brokerage products area, if you go through here, a lot of information. If you're looking for more info on our title companies, Liberty, Title Quest, Guild Mortgage, that's our vendor up in Richmond. Our internal Facebook group, if you're trying to get added to our internal group, you can click through there. Here's a link to our company store. So if you ever need to get new business cards or signs or anything like that made, this will link out, and all you have to do is type who you're with. So whether that's Swell Realty or Swell Real Estate. So I'll click exit real. Oh, Roswell, that's why. So Swell Realty Co., everything's been built out. All of our templates and designs are in here. Everything from signs, business cards, name tags to apparel, um, card magnets even. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So that's where you would find that. And then just a lot of other, I mean, our agent recruiting form, if you ever refer an agent that ends up joining the company, obviously you get rewarded with that, with a bonus per each one of their transactions. And just some other things. Curb Hero, that's an open house tool, really neat. Here's an SEO tool. So again, we're always trying to add to this, things that pop up. In the marketplace or technology wise that we feel that would be an advantage to you all, we want to get them added. Or if you see something out there even that you come across, just let me know. This, we control all of this, so this is kind of built out for us. And then you can get into some of the other tabs. I mean, here's the coaching and training tab. Well, nothing's in there. I think you have to go through the brokerage products for that. But even technology, database, SOI database build out, things like that. So yeah, again, just a brief rundown for everybody on sort of outside of the transaction side of Suite Assist, what you can find. But yeah, so does anybody, before I hop off and turn this over to Shonda, does anybody have any questions for me on where to find anything?
Hey Matt, it's Shonda. I do have one question.
Yeah.
When you're doing the flyers and just listed or whatever you're doing there, are you automatically logged in when you're on Suite Assist? Are you automatically logged in, or do you have to create an account with Canva or so on and so forth?
So the Canva side, they are going to prompt you to create your account,
Mhm.
which is a free account. And
Okay.
so if you've never used Canva before and you're not logged in, then when you click that option, it'll take you to Canva, and then they'll prompt you to log in from there.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, that's free. And then but Bear Printing, I forget what, it's been a little while. Bear Printing might, your first time, it might ask you to log in or create an account. If you have
Okay.
any trouble when you click that print marketing button, it
Hmm.
should just automatically default. And if you see any issue with it connecting to your MLS, which most of us are using Rain, then let me know and we can get our tech team in on that to get it connected. Because that's the best part of it, is it's pulling all the data from the MLS.
Okay.
And it just, yeah, so you don't have to worry about anything. And it's all connected to your Rain ID. So if you have any active listings and things like that, it'll all flood into that. But yeah, so you would have to create a login in that case.
Okay. Awesome.
Hmm.
That was some awesome information. I actually thought I was Sweet Assist Smart but you just now made me feel like I'm
No,
not.
no, 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 no. You're still the sweetest sis queen, girl. Don't no. I ain't I'm not taking anything for but there is a lot more to it and we're constantly
Yeah.
expanding on it and the product team is too. So they have some really neat things in the rollout for Q4. But I know this was kind of higher level, but at least I wanted to start this and I'll hop on probably for next month's training again too and do another one, maybe a little deeper dive into some of the areas. I only had about 30 minutes today. So, um, but, uh, but yeah, hopefully, and again, any questions you guys have, do not hesitate to contact me. If you're trying to do any of these things, I really, really encourage you guys to look at that bear printing stuff. There's some super cool tools in there to really maximize your marketing, and get pretty creative with it. And the targeting parameters and the features that are available to do that are really good. So, um, but yeah, well, I'll turn it over to you, Shonda. I
Okay.
appreciate you guys for hopping on. Anything I can do to help, give me a shout. And you guys have a great Friday and good weekend. Happy Labor Day.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks again for all that info. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
All right, awesome. Okay, guys. That was awesome. I actually wrote down a whole lot of notes. And like I said, I thought I was, on top of things. So we will jump right in because we're probably going to spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes talking about the transaction side of Sweet Assist. Like he said, most of us use the transaction side of the product. I am going to share my screen. Are all of you on here? I see Cecilia, Penelope, Candace, and Sarah. Are you guys Swell Realty agents or Swell Real Estate, or is it a mix here?
Realty,
Realty. Okay.
Um,
So
realtor version.
okay.
Yeah, I do realty.
Okay, awesome. All
Yeah.
right. So basically it's the same on both sides. I'm going to log in as an agent when I get onto Sweet Assist. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can share my screen here. And where are we? Sweet Assist. I believe that is. There we go. Okay. There we go. So I want to log in. I'll log in as an agent. I have a lot of different logins. So I'm normally logged in on the broker side. So it has a lot of stuff on that side. Okay. So has everyone here logged into Sweet Assist? You know how to get in? Okay. And if you do not, of course, you can go onto the website Swell, sellwithswell.com, and it'll have the agent login there. If you have any issues with logging in, forgot password, there is a forgot password feature there that you can reset your password. If it gets deeper than that, then Wendy, I call her the Sweet Assist fixer. She fixes all of the technical issues that we have with Sweet Assist, including the ones that I have. So easy peasy, we're going to just basically Sweet Assist one-on-one kind of thing, go over some of the stuff that agents struggle with when I review your files for processing. So when you do a transaction to Sweet Assist and you get a wire or a check, wires are handled by me. So if your closing company is wiring the funds, then I will be notified. Barry will send that information to me. Hey, here's the wire. He doesn't even he'll forward the wire. It'll say whatever the address is that you've closed on, and then I will log on to Sweet Assist, go to that transaction in Sweet Assist, and then I'll start checking your documents to make sure that we're ready to process it. I'll make sure all the necessary documents are there. If it is a check and the check is being mailed to the office, then Rachel is in the office every day. I am not in the office very often. Hence, while I'm dressed, I'm going to go run 5 miles with my friends after this call here. So, but she handles checks. So she's in the office quite often and she will process any checks. We do the same process. It's just that I handle wires. Most of our funds are wired. So That's the larger part of it, but people still do get checks. So we will start by just and if you have any questions, you don't have to type it in the chat. Just jump right in. It's only 5 of us on here. We can just jump in and chat. So we're gonna go to my transactions. So you're gonna click on transactions. You're gonna go to my transactions, and you will start creating your transactions. I'm gonna say that we are going to represent the seller side. So you have a choice, one or the other, or if it's a referral. Lease, we don't do very often. We do have a rental division. They probably work more in that side. So we're going to click on seller side of this. We're going to click on the realty side because you have a choice here. We do have agents who don't pay or they click on the wrong one. If you click on the wrong one and you're actually Swell Realty and you accidentally click on Swell Real Estate, we have to re-enter it. There's no way to flip-flop them. So you have to, so we're going to click on realty side. I think it'll let me do that because I'm actually a realtor. Okay, so it will. Okay. It's not a short sale. Some people have it. You're just going to say no. Was it built prior to 1978? We're going to say yes because it'll automatically populate lead. Is it a condo? We're going to say no, but we're going to say yes, it is in a POA. Lead plan. I'm going to make a note. This is not something that you guys deal with. We don't deal with lead plans, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm actually going to see if we can get that removed. So we're going to type your address and it should automatically pop up. So we're going to use 3001 Ravine Gap. So it'll usually be the first address that pops in, but make sure you check it because if you click on the wrong address and I go to look for it once you've closed, I can't find it because it's under the wrong address. And that happens even if you type 3100, I'm looking for 3001. It doesn't give me a list of might be addresses, if you understand what I'm saying. It has to be the exact address. If you have a client that's already here, you can start typing their name and it should pop up for you. So for instance, Monica Smith is already in my contacts. Like I've done a transaction with her before. So I can just click on her name. If you're using a client that is not already in there, you've not used them before, you're just gonna click on create contact. You'll put in their first and last name and their email address. It has to be a good email address. SweetAssist is smart enough to know if it's not a good address. And it'll say not a good address. Once you put that in there, you just hit create contact. You'll get a little button up top that says contact has been created successfully. We're going to use Monica. She's actually a SweetAssist practice. So we're going to put Monica back in. And then we're going to hit create transaction. So it's very important that you click the right buttons. I want to go back up here because sometimes we go through this pretty quickly. We want to make sure that we click on the right buttons here because that will change the type of blocks that you get when you create your transaction. But let's say you do that wrong and you didn't say it was lit. It was built before 1978, but you forgot to click that. There's an additional document block. You can just drop your lead paint into there. Okay, so now we are on the active. We've created our transaction and we are ready to roll with putting in things. On the details page of the transaction, everything with the red asterisk. So everything that has this little red asterisk here must have something there in order to submit the file for closing. Like I can skip it right now. Let's just say I'm in a rush and I'm going to skip putting stuff in right now. I'm just going to go upload whatever documents I have. When you get ready to submit for closing, it's going to give you a red box. So you're going to have to remember to go back to your details. Myself as an agent, I try to get this page done first because I'm not going to remember to go back and I'm going to get frustrated and can't figure out why it's not letting me close. Because when you hit submit for closing, it's only going to give you 1 or 2 reasons why, but this whole page isn't filled out. So we'll just, how much is the earnest money deposit? You're not going to really know that until you get a contract if you're in the listing side of things. So just know it does have a block for that. The sales price, the closing date. And when you're on the other side, when you're the listing side, it's going to ask you, I'm sorry, when you're on the buyer side, when you're the buyer side of things, if you put it in as a buyer, you represent the buyer, it's going to ask you for the opposite agent's information. If you're the listing, it's a block there for it, but you notice it doesn't have an asterisk next to it, so you don't have to put it in there. If you want to, you're fine to put it in there, but if not, you don't have to do that. So we're going to go to the next most important page. So once we've so once we put everything in here, we're going to move to the contacts tab. And this tab, again, everything with a little asterisk next to it should be completed. When you're on the buyer side of things and you're putting it in as the buyer, you're not the listing, but this is a contract you have a buyer side. The lender will also have a little asterisk next to it. So that'll be a required thing. So you're going to put your attorney and settlement company. So if you're using, let's say you're using Heather, her first name. Let's see. Oh, wrong spot. Sorry. So Heather's with Title Quest. So Heather's already in here with Heather Redner. So you can just click on her and go add partner. If it's someone we haven't used, that's not there, you're just going to have to put in that information that's noted here, and that's it. You have to put in the email address, and that's all you need to create that. Does that make sense to everybody? If you don't know something, let's say, I don't know, for some reason, you don't know who the closing agent is. If you hit unknown or start typing in unknown or unmatched, or you'll get someone's already created the wheel for you. Unmatched at unmatched.com. So you can put that in there if you just don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't know, but it happens. Sometimes on the lender side, you may not know, or they change lenders or whatever the case may be. So we're going to put Heather back in here. Select partner. Okay, so on the lender side, this for an example, if this was the buyer side and you had to put a lender here, you go add lender. And let's see, we know the company, but we don't know their name. So maybe we could do OVM or Guild. Let's do Guild. So we can use Austin for Guild. And he's already there. You don't have to recreate him every time. And you may find a vendor in there several times. That's because agents just keep recreating it. So the next most important tab is their documents tab. So we're going to click on the documents tab. This is where I go when I'm looking at your file. Several things. When you have a closing and you've gotten the final ALTA, the executed ALTA signed by all parties, always ask your closing agent to send that to you because you need to upload that into SuiteAssist in order to close. So let's say you've uploaded your ALTA here and you're going to close. Make sure you submit the file for closing, which is back on your details page. That's here. You'll have the option to submit the file for closing. If I look at a file and it's not submitted for closing, I automatically assume you're still working on it. Like you're still doing something. So it depends on the day. Maybe I'm not having a busy day. I might still click on your documents and take a look. But if I've got 10 or 12 other agents that I'm processing payments for, and I bring up your file and it's not submitted for closing, it still says active. That just tells my brain, hey, they're still working on it. They're not finished, because it will be submitted for closing once it's finished. If it's submitted for closing and I know, you know what, you've done everything, you've submitted everything, that's the very last step to closing it. So now you're telling me I'm ready to roll, Shonda. Please look at all my documents so I can get paid. Does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so we're gonna skip back over to our Documents tab. There are several of these tabs that say optional. So if it says optional, it's not necessarily required. However, comma, there's always a but or however. If that document is says optional in SweetAssist, but it pertains to your file. For instance, the PICA and the PICRA, they say optional. But if your ratified contract says that the buyer, seller, whatever, if they say they require a home inspection, it's no longer optional. Does that make sense? So if your file is submitted for closing, it'll allow you to submit it for closing with those missing documents because it is an optional file, because not all files have home inspections. Not all files have an ACUS. Portsmouth doesn't require an ACUS. Newport News, there's some sections of Newport News or whatever that don't require an ACUS. So those files are optional. The system knows that not all files require those, and it's not smart enough to read your contract to figure out if you need it or not. So that'll allow you to submit for closing. What happens is if I see that it's submitted for closing, I go to check your file to make sure all your necessary documents are there, and there is no PICA or PICRA there, I will just scan your ratified contract quickly to make sure that is not checked to say that they require a home inspection. If they require a home inspection, you're going to have that PICA. Sometimes they put in there require home inspection. They want a home inspection, but it's for information purposes only. But they submit a PICA because they want 10 days or 5 days or whatever number of days to do this for information only home inspection. If you have a PICA, you must have a PICRA. So if you have a PICA, even if it's for home information purposes only, you need your PICRA to remove that contingency. It's still a contingency. So I'll check this. I'll say, hey, I see your PICA, or I see your PICRA, but no PICA, or vice versa. So I'll ask you to upload those documents. Does that all make sense to everyone? Okay. So there's several, that's my, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should touch base with you guys on. EMD, that's what I wanted to. So when you upload, this is the seller side. So EMD is not required. So this is, we entered it when we created the transaction at seller side. So you don't have the EMD block here, receipt of EMD. But if you're on the buyer side, you're going to have that block that says EMD. When you upload your EMD, it needs to be the receipt from the escrow agent. So whoever's holding the EMD. So if Title Quest or Liberty Title are holding your EMD for that file, ask them for the EMD receipt. That's what needs to be uploaded, not just the picture of the check. So if the picture of the check is there, that automatically has me stop processing at that time to say, hey, I don't have your EMD or your receipt from the escrow agent. So that's super important to have that. One thing I always say, people miss their EMD timeframes. The contract says 2 days, but it is 5 days technically by law. But let's say you miss it. You miss your EMD time frame. The easiest way to correct that is to put an amendment together, have all parties sign to extend the EMD date to whatever date you're going to extend it to. Now you have covered yourself. You don't get reported to DPOR, all that good stuff. Barry and Julie both are very stern on the EMDs because EMDs, for whatever reason, are the vein of real estate. And that is the reason why Swell doesn't hold them either, your escrow agents, who are not held on the same standard as a real estate company holding your EMD. So that's why they're so on it. So just make sure if there's any issues with your EMD, you have the receipt, and that if for some strange reason you miss it, that you've covered yourself. And most agents will work with you with that kind of stuff. So not a big deal, but you have to do it before the file closes. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, awesome sauce. Okay, so what we'll do is we will, there are a couple ways to upload documents. Easy upload. So we're on the listing side, the seller side. So when you put in your standard listing agreement, your SAER, you can pull these directly from your transaction desk if you choose, or if you have them saved somewhere on your desktop, you can upload them document by document, or you can bulk upload them. So what we'll do is does everybody know how to get their MLS listing from the MLS and upload that? Okay, so that's easy peasy. Just kind of upload it, save it as a PDF and upload it. That's basically how you upload all of these items. But let's see what we have here. Let's see if we have a ratified contract. I think most people have trouble when you upload these document by document. It's very easy. It's when you have a document that goes out and they send it back to you all in one packet, and then you have to break it out. So let's see if we have a ratified contract, for example. You're going to hit the three dots, hit upload documents. You're going to go get it from wherever it is. I have them saved on my desktop. I actually cleaned my desktop up today to make sure that it works. So let's pretend like we have a bulk upload. So this has everything in it. So where it says it has the PICA, the DPOR, all that stuff in one file. So if I upload it as one document, everything's going to go in that one block. Does that make sense? But then all your other blocks are not filled. So when you go to submit it for closing, it's not going to let you. So the easiest way to do that is to click over here with this little black box that says upload bulk files. And you click that. You're going to click here in the middle. Go get that bulk file. So they sent it to you in an email, you downloaded it, saved it to whatever file on your desktop or wherever you save your files, and you're going to find it and just click on it. And it's going to start to upload. And if you see here, it's making sure there's no viruses or anything. That does take a little second to do that. So while it's taking its time, making sure you're virus free, you can go do other things. I didn't make this file as big as some files, so hopefully it will upload soon. I know when you upload things document by document, you get the little spinning wheel, and it seems like it takes forever, and you're just sitting there looking at it. Just keep going. It'll eventually, upload. You don't have to wait for it to complete. It takes just as much time for me to do it as you guys to do it. So it's no faster on my end. It's not like SweetAssist is faster for me than it is for other people. I just kind of have perfected it where I know I don't have to wait for the little file to upload. So this one is almost done, and then I'll show you guys how to, okay, there we go. So when it's done, you'll get the assigned documents page. You guys see that there? And what we're going to do is click there. Okay, so all the documents you uploaded in the bulk are here. So now you have to put these documents where they belong. On your left side of the screen, the first 16 pages was your ratified contract. We know that. So what we're going to do is find your ratified contract. You have to be clicked on the right box. Whatever box you're clicked on is where it's going to go. So if you're on the wrong box, if you're under MLS data input sheet and you start clicking, that's where it's going to be when you go to look at it under the Documents tab. So we're going to find the box we want the first 16 pages to go into, and we're literally going to click on all the pages. And they have the little green check box. Until you get to the last page. So now we know everything all 16 pages are in the ratified contract, and you can verify here next to your block where it says ratified contract, you clicked on 16 pages. So now the next thing that's in here is the PICA. So we'll find where that goes, click on that block. Now those pages that we put in the ratified contract, they're gray. You can't click on them now. The ones that are left that you can click on, we're going to put them here in the PICA box. So it's those 3 pages here. So it's good to know what you're uploading because it's hard to see it this way when you do bulk upload, but you can, I have a touch screen, so I can make mine bigger. I don't know if everybody can make theirs larger, but normally I kind of know in this bulk upload, I've uploaded the ratified contract, all the disclosures, the PICA, the CIC, those kind of things. So the other thing I had in this file was the disclosures. So with the disclosures, these are the disclosures that are signed by all parties. So let's talk about that a little bit. When you have the listing side of things, you have to initially upload the seller signed disclosures, meaning the ones that you only had signed by the seller that you connected to your listing. And then when you get the packet back or you get a contract, you also have to upload those disclosures that are signed by everybody, by both sides. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is these are signed by everyone, or they should be. So we're going to find the block. There are 2 different blocks for those. So when you first upload your listing, you have your individual blocks that says AQs, DPOR, your lead. That's where you will put your seller signed. If once you get a contract, you want to upload your buyer sign, it says right here, buyer sign disclosures, and it has them all grouped together. You can put more than one thing in a box. So we're going to click there because that's where I want these 3 to go, these disclosures to go. So that was my AQs, my lead, and my DPOR. I clicked on all 3 of those. So I clicked on those 4 pages, and now I know that's where those 4 pages are. The last thing that was in that bulk upload was the buyer's approval letter. On the listing side, sometimes there is a buyer approval block. If not, anything that you have that you want to be seen or you want to know it's there, they have this additional documents tab. You can click here and you can click that last page and you can dump it there. You also have the option of creating a custom document. So if you want to, you know that this is the buyer's approval letter. So you want a custom document, you want to name it, we're going to call it the buyer approval letter. Now on the buyer side of that, keeping in mind we're on the listing side right now, we're on the buyer side of things. On the buyer side of the file, when you just have the buyer, it'll have that block there for you. But in this case, you're on the listing side, the agent sent it back to you, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to upload it. You can create your own custom document. And did you guys see how to do that? This little block here, it says it has the plus sign with the custom document. You just click there. You name it whatever you want. I actually typed in buyer approval letter. And then on the drop down menu, you want to make it active and you want to hit create. It's going to drop this into the list. Once it's created, you can close. And here's the last block. So that was a custom one that you made. You want to click there. And the only thing that you can put in there at this point is the buyer letter because it's the only thing that's able to be clicked on. Once you've assigned all of the documents in that bulk upload, and just know that maybe you've got, for example, 36 items. Someone sends you back a PICA in a bulk upload with the home inspection with it. So now you got 150 million pages in this bulk upload, but you just want the picker to show on your block, you don't have to assign all the pages. You can leave those other pages unclicked. And when you go back to your documents tab, you don't see those pages. So I won't be looking at those. I don't see those. You'll just see whatever you clicked on. So we're going to go back to the documents tab. Now that we've had that bulk upload, and everything that we clicked on is now in its appropriate bucket. So your ratified contract is where it needs to be, your PICAs where it needs to be, your buyer side disclosures are where they need to be. So can you guys mute your phone? Robin, I think you're on 2 times.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh,
trying to
okay.
get it
Yep,
out.
gotcha.
Sorry.
No worries. It happens. It'll echo when you have them on, when you have it
I
on
get it
2
on my
times.
laptop, so I had it on my phone, and then I finally got it on my laptop, so I'm good now. I'm sorry.
Okay, awesome. No, you're good.
Thanks.
So does that make sense to everyone? The bulk upload, that is what agents seem to struggle with the most on how to do that. The other question I get a lot is, I've uploaded the wrong document. How do I remove it from Sweet Assist? There's no such thing. Once it's there, it's there. But let's say you individually upload, we're gonna look at an ACUS. We're just gonna click on that box. So I think I'm uploading the ACUS in the right block. So I go here, I find it wherever I have it saved. And I'm gonna click the Alta. So you see a little spinning dot? That happens every time. So I'm gonna go on to my next one and just keep uploading documents as I need to upload them. So this is let's actually load something that's actually right. So we said it was a POA, so request for POA. I'm gonna click in this block. And I'm gonna upload that. And I'm gonna put the acknowledgement of receipt in the same block with the request for the POA, because you don't have a block for the acknowledgement of receipt. However, you can either put it in your additional documents, or you can custom document a box here and call it,
Hang on.
and you can make it active, and we can put it there, or you can just dump it in the same box. If it's there, I'll find it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be. So here's the acknowledgement of receipt. Okay. All right. So I think I'm good. I've uploaded everything. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then I realized, oh crap, I put the Alta in the ACUS box. I don't want it there. Or I put the wrong ACUS from another property there. In order to remove it from site, it never removes it from Sweet Assist. It's always in the background, which I have no idea why there's not a removal button. And I have asked about that, and I'll keep asking. Eventually, maybe they'll create one. But what you want to do is go back to your bulk upload. So everything I've uploaded is there on the back end. I call this the back end. So I have to remember what I named it. It was the Alta, and I put it in the wrong spot. So now what I need to do is go to assign documents. I have to know where I put it. So we put that Alta in the ACUS box. Okay. So now everything is, it's not grayed out any longer. So if I'm here, when I first clicked that green document, it was the Alta assigned pages. So the Alta, you can see it, but I can't play with it because it's grayed out because I'm not in the right box. I'm not in the box that is actually dropped in. So if you forget where you put it, you can click on every box until you get to the one where you can play with it. So what you want to do is click the X, and it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to remove this page? I do. And you're just going to unclick all the pages, or whatever pages you put in there incorrectly, if that makes any sense. So if you accidentally have more than if you actually had the right ACUs in there and you accidentally uploaded the Alta, you just want to make sure you unclick the Alta and not the actual ACUs because you want that to stay. So now they're all there, but they're not assigned anywhere. So when you go back to your Documents tab, there's nothing in that ACUs box any longer, but it is in the background. So that was the Alta. So now I want to go to the Alta tab. This is where I want it to go. I have to go back to that bulk upload. I called it the Alta. As you can see, it says none here for assigned pages. That means I haven't assigned this to any block. You click on the assigned pages. It's the so now the Alta is where you can actually assign it. It's not grayed out, but you want to make sure you're on the right block over here because right now it automatically starts out at the listing requirements sheet. If you start clicking these, that's where it's going to go. If that makes any sense to you guys. So you want to scroll down to Alta where it actually belongs and put it there. So when you go back to your Documents tab, now the Alta is where it needs to be. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Once you start using it, it really is, it's not as cumbersome as it sounds. You just kind of get used to clicking around. I've been working in SuiteAssist since it first came. Transaction coordinating is what I do as a profession. So to me, this is all kind of second nature. So if I work in a lot of different databases because I just don't do this for Swell. I do this for other agents at other companies. So how SuiteAssist actually is one of the easier systems that I've seen as far as uploading and maintaining documents. So that is the basis of things. As I mentioned, when I look for documents, I just look to make sure that everything, I will scroll through. When I'm checking your documents, I'm going to scroll through your ratified contract to make sure you're not missing. I'm not reading it because I'm not really interested in what it says. I'm just going to check to see. So I'm literally doing this, rolling through to make sure that you have all your pages initialed. If I see something, I'll email you and say, hey, page 12 of 16 of your ratified contract is signed. Can you get that corrected? Or whatever the case may be, or could you get, because you really shouldn't you should never mess with a ratified contract. You have to correct it with an amendment or an addendum. But let's say something's wrong with it. I'll say, hey, I noticed this is not signed, and you can upload, maybe you've already got the right one. You can dump the right one right in the same bucket with the current one. You don't have to unclick it. You can have two of them in there. I've been doing this long enough, so I'll look at them both and just, figure out what you got going on. Doesn't have to be perfect. But if it's so out of whack, I have to spend 20 or 30 minutes, I'm going to call you and be like, hey, your SuiteAssist is kind of everywhere. Can you take a look at it? And try to get your documents in some type of order so I can, figure out what's going on. Because Barry and Julie both trust that I'm reviewing these documents. If we're ever audited, the DPOR documents need to be there. So I'm a stickler on those. So outside of that, that's basically it. I would probably say to make sure those internal documents that you guys are familiar with, the SWOL additional disclosure form. Does everyone know how to find documents in SuiteAssist, or do I need to show you how to do that? And I can do it because I don't want to hold anyone too long or take up too much of your Friday, but I can definitely show you how to find your documents in SuiteAssist.
Yeah, I already
back
know
out.
how.
Okay, is everybody comfortable with that? And you want to use your most recent documents in SuiteAssist. If I look at your documents and I see that you have an old closing sheet, for instance, I'll say, hey, here's the updated closing sheet. Can you please upload that? Because that has information on it that Gemma needs to process. So a lot of people still have the closing sheets that we used to use or whatever old documents saved on their computer. So they use those instead of getting the most recent documents out of SuiteAssist. Does anyone have any questions? So that is the very basics of Sweet Assist. Normally we spend a lot more time, but having Matt on today, showing us all that extra Sweet Assist stuff was actually really awesome. But it cuts into our time just a bit. Is there anything that someone needs to see that they're struggling with that I can show you quickly before we leave? Or again, I'll be doing this I do this twice a month, once in person and once on Zoom. Sarah, did you have something?
Well, I'm not sure if it's something you can show me, but when I'm in Sweet Assist, it just moves so slow, like
Mhm.
for everything.
Mhm.
Just from tab to tab, I get the uploading part, but it, is that on their end? As far as I know, my site is
Yeah.
updated.
So you're saying yours is acceptably slow, is what you
Yes.
feel. Like, so the way that I've been moving around now, yours moves a lot slower than, you see how I just clicked from
Mhm.
details to my contacts tab. It moves much slower than this.
Yes.
Okay. We may need to get Wendy involved to find out what's going on. Are you working on MacBook by any chance?
No, it's HP.
Okay. Okay, that's what I'm working on in HP as well. So we might need to talk offline to see if we can get you some help. Maybe we can do a Zoom so I can see what we're talking about, so I can actually, because that is frustrating, and you don't want to do it if it's taking you 5 minutes to input the crap, and then you realize you input it wrong. It takes you another 5 minutes to undo what you
Mhm.
just did. So I totally understand. It's very frustrating, but yes, we can definitely look into that for you. Not a problem.
And
If it's
it may have been corrected because it's been a while since I was in there, but and I don't remember if it was on the buyer or the seller side, but there were two fields for lead disclosures.
okay, so probably on the seller side, because w- well, it was 2 blocks, is what you're saying, like 2 blocks for the lead disclosure.
Yeah, I had just been
This
putting
one,
the same thing in both just so it would let me go through. And again, it's been a while. It may have been corrected.
okay, so if it was 2 blocks, just like this one you see me
Uh-huh.
circling here, if it
Yep.
was two of those, that's been corrected. If it was
Okay.
this one and then you saw this one, see it says lead here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so it
Okay.
must have been fixed.
Yes, it could have been fixed. The single one is where you would put your seller sign one, and then of course you have the one where it says buyer sign. You're gonna drop it there. But you did right by just drop so it'll let you submit for closing, because it won't if it thinks something should be there. One quick thing I want to let you guys know is, let's say something is different about your file, and you have to request an exemption. So like, for instance, it's well additional disclosure. I have an agent who forgets this one all the time. So she will go here, she'll click on the box because it won't let you, because you see it doesn't have optional next to it. So what she does is she goes request for exemption. She puts a reason why. Maybe like she has one seller that's just like, I'm just not signing that. Why do I need to sign that? So she typed in there, seller refused to sign. Hit submit. And now it puts there that there's an exemption requested. So when I click there, I'll see her note, and I will be able to approve or not approve that exemption. But at least it'll let her submit the file for closing. It won't let me do it in this mode because I'm logged in as an agent. But yes. So you can always request an exemption for something, like something weird may have happened, or you can put a note in, and we see those notes. So if there's something going on that you think we need to know about when I'm checking your things. So your listing requirement sheet, and your your listing requirement sheet or your purchase requirement sheet are not required documents, but they're good to have. Like if you just print them out and keep them next to you on your desk, so you'll know all of the documents that you need. It'll save you from having to scroll through this thing to figure out what documents you have because they're actually listed for you on paper. And you can get those under Office Docs and Suite Assist. That way you already have it there and you don't have to keep printing it. You just keep it there because you don't have to upload it into Suite Assist because it's not required. That's just there to help you. Barry and Julie like to have the documents in within 5 days of a ratified contract or 5 days of your listing. And that's not that's to help you more so than anything, because what happens, a lot of agents will wait till the deal close and their commission is in, and now they're scrambling to find all of these documents that they need in their emails, in their transaction desk, wherever they have them, and getting this file. It's very stressful trying to rush to get the file ready for closing. Even if you initially start the file, it's better than waiting to close. So after you've closed and now you've got to create the details tab, the contacts tab, and you're gonna forget something. It's a long weekend like we're in now. Oh my gosh, I want my payment for the weekend, but you haven't started your file, and then I can't process it. So it's just, if you get it started at the beginning, then it's just easier. If you drop your files in as you go along, that's even better. So when you get to the end, you really only have your closing sheet and your executed ALTA to put in. A lot of agents use Swole Transacts. They don't want to do Suite Assist. They don't care to even learn Suite Assist, and that's fine too. We do all the document upload for you. I have broker access. So if you're having your stuff signed in Transaction Desk, I just can pull it and upload it for you. If there's something I'm missing, I'm going to email you and say, hey, I don't have your additional disclosure form. Could you send that over to me if you have it, if you didn't have it signed, or at least I can remind you that you need to have that signed. So that's an option.
Sorry. Shonda, I've got a transaction in my portfolio here that it says it's active, but it's something that didn't close because we got out of that transaction. My buyer didn't buy that. So how do I get that? How do I correct that?
You want to put in your upload your release agreement. So you whatever the last form was, your release agreement, and then when you go under more actions, you can cancel the transaction. The transaction will show as canceled.
Okay. And I guess I think that on my phone it's different than the laptop. So I'm used to looking at it on the phone, but on the laptop I think I can maybe figure things out better. But there's also a transaction in there that's not mine. So how do I get that out of there?
You want, if it's not yours, was it one you were playing around with?
No, I have nothing to do with it.
Send me the address. Email me the address for that one.
Okay.
Maybe someone could have been using you as an example. I don't think that's the case, but it's.
I think it was a mistake because the agent's first name matches my last name. So I think it was.
It's probably so. Bren Bain. Yes, that's probably what happened. I see that all the time with the two. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Send me the address and I'll cancel that one out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely.
I missed a lot, but I think it's recorded, so I can go back and.
It is. Yes. Yes. The first 30 minutes or so are Matt going through Suite Assist stuff too, like the tabs that we don't use, which was amazing. Great information there. But yes, you can go back and take a look at everything. This one other important thing I want to mention before we go, make sure your MLS sold. If you're on the seller side, we added that block for MLS sold. That is to keep you from being fined, because I know as an agent, I'm like, oh, I'm done. I got paid, but I forgot to go back and change it. And, I think it's like a $200 fine if you don't close it out in a certain amount of time, If you don't change it from contingent to pending within 2 days of it going pending, so within 2 days of either your home inspection or your POA or condo docs or whatever. So you want to make sure you remember to do those things too, to avoid fines. The beautiful thing about Swell is they are 100% company, so you can choose to spend your money any way you choose or not at all. So if you don't need someone to help you with your transactions, you got it, go for it and keep all your funds to yourself. But if you need it, it's not 20% of your commission to get the help that you need. So there's Swell Transacts has different levels of using our transaction coordinating team to do that. Does anyone else have any questions before we head out? No? Okay. So I hope that you guys learned something today. If you have any questions or you think of anything, then feel free to email me. It's shonda@sellwithswell.com, and my number is 757-912-7963. So you can always give me a call if you have any questions or you run into any issues with Sweet Assist. It's I do Sweet Assist all day, every day. So I'm kind of know what I'm doing with that. But if you have any questions, just kind of let me know. All right. So I appreciate you guys taking time on your holiday weekend to spend with me with this, and we will meet again next month. There'll be a notification. It'll be on the calendar as well. There'll be one in person, which is a little more intimate because I can actually look at what you're looking at on your laptop. So you can bring your laptop with me. We put this on a huge TV. And we can I can answer your questions about your own personal transactions if you need that. I do offer one-on-ones. I do that once for you as well. So thank you again, guys. Have a great holiday weekend and be safe. And we'll all talk soon.